So now that I'm finally in my new home office, I can start building my dream home studio. But if you haven't caught what's happened in the last few videos, here's a quick rundown. So I built my dream studio in my old house, but then my wife and I actually moved back home close to my family on some land, and we're living in a temporary situation until we can build our dream home. And until then, I have this really cool 14 by 14 foot space to build my new dream office. In the last video, I set up the slat wall, put together my desk setup, and then added a few other touches to complete this side of the office space. And now in this video, I still have to build out the rest of this office space. And if you can see over here, I still have a ton of boxes to get to, but I have some really cool stuff planned, so let's get started. This video is sponsored by Autonomous. More on them in a moment. So my goal for this space, just like the last space, is to make it really easy to film content. I want every single angle that I'm filming at to look good on camera. I also want a comfortable space to work in because I am a freelance videographer now doing YouTube content. So I want the space to be easy to work in, but also to game in my free time. And lastly, I want it to be functional. Aside from it being easy to film content and comfortable to work in, I want it to be organized, where it's easy to store things away and keep myself organized. Because if I'm not organized, my brain's not organized, and it's just a whole mess. And just like my last studio, there's gonna be 4 different sections in this office space, with each wall being a different section. With the first wall being my main desk setup, where I work, game, and mainly use this wall the most. And that leaves 3 other walls that we have to get to today. Okay, so now that we have the blueprint and the groundwork laid out, let's get started on the first wall. So for the first wall, I wanted to go with a clean and minimal style. And if you've been watching my videos for the last year, you know that I have 2 desk setups, a PC setup and also my Mac desk setup. So this wall is where the Mac desk setup is going to go. And for this is where I tend to write my videos and also record some of my main A-roll for my YouTube content. So for the foundation of this desk setup, Autonomous sent me over their Smart Desk 5 Pro in titanium white, as well as their Ergo Chair Ultra 2 in black. I love how clean and minimal the chair and the desk look together, and the Smart Desk 5 Pro has some really cool features, but we'll also get to those in a second as well. So going more with the minimal theme, I wanted a clean looking monitor arm. So I got this one from AOC, and then for my monitor, I have the LG 27-inch GP950. This is my old gaming monitor on my PC desk setup, but I love how there's no bezels and it's 4K at 120 Hertz. Now, in order to get 4K 120 on my M1 Max MacBook Pro, I needed to use this USB-C to DisplayPort cable to get the full 120 Hertz refresh rate. And so that I can keep the laptop closed at all times, I have this Anker USB-C dock that I can deliver power to the MacBook, as well as have some extra ports for anything that I may need to connect to it, like my audio interface, the Rode AL1, which I have the Rode PodMic running into. And that's also sitting on the Elgato low profile wave mic arm. And then for my keyboard, I have the MX Keys S, and also like my main desk setup, I went with the MX Master 3S for the mouse. Now, I was gonna have the MacBook Pro sitting on top of the desk, but I really didn't like it as much as I thought. So I went and 3D printed this under desk MacBook mount, and I personally think this looks a lot better. The desk feels less cluttered and more organized, and it just looks better on camera in my opinion. So for the rest of wall number 1, I went to IKEA and got their Bror storage drawer for some storage, as well as these pegboards from Amazon for extra organization. Right now there's some camera gear on here, but I want to also use this as more of like a decorative piece depending on the video that I'm filming. This is one of the things in my office that will probably change over time, but right now I just have a few things up there. So in front of the desk, I really scratched my head on this one. I was going to put these sound panels behind the desk, but I didn't really like how it looked. So I decided to scrap that and just leave it blank. I really think it looks great this way, especially on camera, but you let me know in the comments what you think. And then to the right of the desk, I have this Interstellar poster that I found on Etsy. Now back to the Smart Desk 5 Pro. This is one of the sleekest looking desks I've ever seen. The titanium white desktop and desk legs look and feel very premium. Plus, the desktop has this rounded edge to it, so it really feels comfortable on your wrist. Also, the size of the desktop is 53 inches by 29 inches, and I really think that's the perfect size for what I was going for in this desk setup. The Smart Desk 5 Pro has a load capacity of 330 pounds and height adjustability from 29.5 inches all the way up to 48.5 inches. And this desk is actually packed with some really cool features. One being this integrated cable management tray, which is really cool, but one thing that you don't really see a lot of is an integrated power strip. Every single desk setup that I have built personally, I've had to add a power strip after the fact, and the fact that this one has one built in is definitely a huge plus and get some bonus points in my book. Another really cool feature that I haven't seen in many standing desks is the fact that the controls are on top of the desk rather than on the front. I personally love the look that this gives, and the touchscreen for functionality is also a nice feature. Now, the ErgoChair Ultra 2 definitely adds to that premium feel of the desk setup. And it's really comfortable to sit in, especially for long hours. And that's due to their adaptive backrest and their lumbar support. There's also some more adjustability where you can move the seat forward and back, as well as recline, and the armrests have some adjustability as well. I personally opted for the one with no headrest, but you can get it with a headrest if you want further support for your neck. And that's really a big selling point here for both of these, is the posture support, because with the standing desk, I can always get up and move throughout the day whenever I'm working or if I'm having to write a video and I've been sitting all day. It's nice to have the option to stand up. And then for the chair, the built-in lumbar support and the adjustability allows me to feel the most comfortable and try to keep good posture throughout the day. And if you like the SmartDesk 5 Pro or the ErgoChair Ultra 2, you can use my code SETUPWillHaul for 5% off your order. Now, with this wall finally complete, it's time for wall number 2. So for this wall, I actually took the sound panels that were going to go on the first wall and decided to put them here on either side of the windows. So this wall is going to serve the purpose for my roller backdrop system. So if I need to film B-roll or want to get a little bit more creative with some shots, this system allows me to have different colored backgrounds. Now, one thing I don't like about the system is the colored chains that you use to pull the backdrops up and down. I feel like it really distracts you from the minimal setup that I was going for. So for now, I'm just going to take those off and leave it blank. But they sell these motorized adapters that you can actually add to this to make the backdrops motorized. So I'll probably get those in the future. All in all, it still serves the purpose that I was going for. Now, to film the products on and to also have a desk for maybe filming some A-roll shots that I can move around the office, I'm actually using one of my older desk setups from my previous office space with some wheels on the bottom of it. And I got this very large desk mat to give me the option of filming on black, but also I can remove it if I wanted to film with a white background. This area is really versatile, from the backdrop system to the moving desk. I have a lot of options to work with for whatever creative content that I want to make. Now that wall number 2 is done, let's move on to wall number 3. So for this wall, I have this massive Husky tool chest. I believe it's 7 foot long and 24 inches wide. This thing is huge, and getting this inside of my office was extremely difficult, to say the least. I wish I had some footage of that, but I was locked in. Luckily, I had some help. Now, I got this Husky tool chest because I don't have a closet in the office, and with all the gear that I currently have and will probably accumulate over time, as well as for stuff that I might be reviewing on the channel, I wanted a place to store all of that, and nothing better than a massive Husky tool chest. Now, above this, I put my 55-inch LG B2 OLED so I could watch TV throughout the day or just throw on a podcast. I also 3D printed these record display mounts so that I could display some of the records that I have. I feel like this adds a nice touch on the left side of the TV. And then on the right side of the TV, I didn't really know what to put here, so I put my Santa Cruz skateboard deck. And like a lot of these decorations, they'll probably end up changing over time. But for now, I'm happy with the way that everything looks over here. I didn't want to go too overboard. Now, in the last video, I actually got the wrong desktop color. And don't get me wrong, the black desktop looks really good, but the amount of dust that thing accumulates, even 2 minutes after cleaning it, is insane. It's got to go. So I switched to a white desktop, and I personally think it looks a lot better. Now, this office studio space, if you will, serves multiple purposes, and one of its main purposes is to film my YouTube content. So I wanted the functionality of that to be really easy and to be able to get a really good shot no matter where I'm aiming at in the office. So I got 2 Amaran 100Xs and then 1 Amaran 200X. I actually had a 200X previously, so all in all, I have 2 200Xs and 2 100Xs. So to light up the entire space, I have both the 200Xs on some Vari poles on either corner of the office with Aputure lantern softboxes attached to them. This allows me to film pretty much anywhere I want in the office and get a clean, well-lit look. And if I want a little bit more of a moodier look, I can always turn off one of them and leave one of them on. And like I said earlier, my goal for this office space was to make it easier to film in. And just like my rolling standing desk, if I needed to get a shot over there or over here, I really need things on wheels just to make it a little bit easier. So I got these two newer C-stands on wheels, and on one of them I have the Aputure Amaran 100X with the Aputure Light Dome SE as my main key light that I can also roll around the office anywhere I need to set up a shot. And then the other 100X I actually have stored away to put on the other rolling stand so that if I need to have some lights for the backdrop or need a second light, I have that option as well. I'm still trying to hone in this lighting portion of my office, but I feel like this is a really good start and it just makes it that much easier to create whenever I have an idea or I need to work on a video. Then I got this tripod wheel adapter that you can put on a C-stand or do like I did and put it on my main tripod, where I'll most likely always have the FX3 on. This way I can shoot B-roll shots, A-roll shots, and really anything I need anywhere in the office. And lastly, for the organization part of the office, this is one of the things that I'm going to have to develop better systems for over time, but currently I have a ton of storage and organization at my disposal. Currently in the Husky tool chest, I have things like my softboxes, clamps, cables, lens filters, lens adapters, and if you haven't heard of these little bags, they're called go bags. They're a really great way to keep yourself organized, and they're super easy to carry with you. You can just clip them on your bag or shove them in your suitcase if you want to use them for travel accessories. They're pretty cool, and I'll make sure to link them below. Right now I just have some of these used to store some cables and filters, and those are in the Husky tool chest as well. But like the rest of these drawers and storage places, I'll definitely be filling these over time. And like the go bags and everything else that I mentioned in this video, I'll make sure to link it all in the description. And so for the IKEA drawers right now, I have some of my tools, some camera gear to build out camera rigs, but in the future in this area, I want to dedicate more for content creation, storage, and maybe stuff like props, desk setup accessories, just things to help make creating content that much easier. And then eventually the Husky tool chest will just be mainly for camera gear. It makes sense to me, but like I said, this will definitely develop over time. But now everything's put away. Everything's set up. We're finally moved in. Let's see how it all turned out. I have to say that I like my old office space, but I really, really like this one. I just feel like I have a lot of room to grow in this space. So I think we accomplished our goal. It's easy to film in, it's super comfortable to work in, and I have a ton of options for organization. In the next video, I'm gonna do an entire tour of the final office space for those who haven't seen the series yet, but also serve the purpose as a concise overall final tour. But it's good to be back making content in my new office space. It feels like I've been out of the game for months now, so I'm glad to be back. Also, don't forget to use my code SetupWillHall for 5% off your Ergo Chair Ultra 2 and the Smart Desk 5 Pro. All right, that'll do it for this one. I'll see you guys on the next one.